DraftKings Pick 6, college football playoffs. Can't get any better than this. Let's get after it. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Craig Bennett, aka CashKeg, here at Daily Edge Sports. And I've partnered with DraftKings to bring you 4 picks today for college football playoffs. We got 3 games. If you don't have that DraftKings Pick6 account, make sure you download it. Use that promo code CashKeg. New Pick6 customers, play $5, get $50 in Pick6 credits guaranteed. Let's get after it. Let's talk some ball. All right, DraftKings Pick6 is up on the board here. Generally, I talk about 3 picks, but I'm going to talk about 4 picks that I do like here to consider in your selections for today's college football playoff slate. Got some great games. SMU at Penn State is the early one at noon. Clemson at Texas and Tennessee at Ohio State. All should be great games. Should be a lot of fun. Notre Dame took care of Indiana yesterday. But these games should be good, and we're going to dive into them. So first one we're going to look at this SMU Penn State game, and I'm going to go to Rodrick Daniels, and we're going to go more than 45.5 receiving yards for him. They should be playing from behind most of this game against Penn State, and he has come on as of late. If we look at the last 2 games here, even though he only had 42 yards against Cal, he had 8 targets, caught 6 balls for 8 targets, and then this last game against Clemson, a tough game against Clemson where they end up losing 34-31. We saw 97 yards out of him on 10 targets, caught 8 balls. I think he's going to have to have a big game for SMU to have a shot here. And 45.5 receiving yards feels a little light. Again, cleared this in 3 of his last 4 games. He had a monster game against Duke back on October 26th where he put up 153 yards on 2 receptions on 5 targets. But targets have been steadily increasing all year. And again, 8 and 10 these last 2 games, 5 and 5 these 2 games here against Boston College and Virginia. So we're going to go more than 45.5 reception yards for Rodrick Daniels. Second pick we're going to go and look at here, we're going to head over to rushing and receiving touchdowns. So basically anytime touchdown, we're going to go more than a half here for Dylan Samson. He is the workhorse for Tennessee. Absolutely a ton of touches. He has had a touchdown in each and every game this year except for 1 against Vanderbilt. He has had a touchdown in each and every game. Tough matchup against Ohio State, but if they're going to have any shot here and score, I think Dylan Samson's going to be a big part of that. Massive amount of carries the game as well. He's touched the ball an absolute ton, averaging over 21.5 rushing attempts a game and 123 yards on the ground. So if you want to look at rushing yards for Dylan Samson, I have no problem with that. I just feel like he does get in the box here, and Dylan Samson for more than a half rushing and receiving touchdown is one of my favorite picks for Tennessee. Staying with Tennessee here, though, rush yards. I do like looking at the quarterback here, Nico. I think if Ohio State does get to him, I do think he can get out and get some rushing yards here. He has cleared this in 5 of his last 6 games. Where he's had 44, 14, 22, 24, 36, and 42. Average about 8 rush attempts a game. And if they flush him out of the pocket and Ohio State gets to him, I can see Nico getting 30 to 40 yards on the ground. So 17.5 rushing yards, I do like that. One thing to consider, though, if you think Ohio State's going to sack him a few times in college football, just remember that sacks count as negative rushing yards. So that is always the dangerous part of picking a quarterback in rushing yards. But if Nico gets out there, he could get this in 1 rush. Then the 4th and final pick we'll kind of talk about here, I'm going to go over to Will Howard, and I'm going to look at passing touchdowns for Will Howard. Going up against Tennessee here, he has had 2 or more passing touchdowns in every game but 2. 10 of 12 games, 83% have had more than 2 passing touchdowns. He has a plethora of weapons at his disposal here, and I think they got to let him go. If Ryan Day, this has been talk out there with all the talking heads. If he does not win the college football championship, I don't know if he'll still have a job. If he loses to Tennessee, he definitely does not have a job. So they have to open it up here. Will Howard's going to have to be slinging that rock. It's so tough to watch them against Michigan where they lost. only score that one touchdown. They were just brutal running the ball and not just spreading it out. They have so much talent on that side of the ball. Spread them out, man. Throw the rock. So Will Howard, we're going to go more than 1.5 passing touchdowns for him. So those are 4 picks you can consider in today's selections for college football Saturday. Again, if you don't have that DraftKings Pick6 account, make sure you download and use that promo code CashKeg. New Pick6 customers play $5, get $50, and Pick6 credits guaranteed. Also, if you want access to our DraftKings Pick6 tool we have over at Daily Edge Sports, you can get access to this with an elite subscription service. Gives you the projections that we have, our custom projections for most sports. The DraftKings projection, you can kind of use those. You can sort by all these if you want to see the plus EV stuff, if you want to see just the projection, where we have some things sitting, projection based off of, higher or lower than the DraftKings projection. You can see all these. It just gives you another element when you're making your selections on DraftKings Pick6. So with that, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. Like always, I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.